Okay, so we are going to study this part, logical reasoning. So what is the difference between reasoning and logical reasoning? In reasoning, there will be certain mathematical pattern you need to identify, or there will be some logic in the form of numbers, logic in the form of mathematics. While in logical reasoning, there will be no mathematics, just there will be some linguistic logics. Logics in your talk, and this logical reasoning we are doing in our day-to-day life. For example, we are giving argument to someone, we are saying something on for support of something, or we are saying against of something. So these all are part of logical reasoning. So logical reasoning is just some linguistic logic we are using in our day-to-day life. So that linguistic logic that we are using in our day-to-day life, just I will give one more example. Is there any background noise from my side?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so just for example, you had fight with your friend or someone, and you are giving logic like this is your mistake. It's this fight is only because of you. So you are giving logics there. So that is logical reasoning, and what we are doing there, we will study here. We will study the fundamental part of that, the structure of that, and that this is only logical reasoning. So logical reasoning can be understood in two perspectives. One is Western perspective, and one is Indian perspective. So in one class, we will try to finish this Western perspective, and in another class, we will try to finish this Indian perspective. And this subject is not very much tough, comparatively easy subject. So these two are same thing, just perspective of understanding the logic. Just like we have a common body in modern science, we are trying to understand this body as different system, respiratory system, circulatory system, like this. And in Indian system, we are trying to understand this body on the basis of chakras, on the basis of Vata, Pitta, Kapha, on the basis of three gunas. At the end, we are talking about human body. So similarly, logical reasoning, we will be talking about logics, but there will be different thing in Western logic and in Indian logic. So structure of argument in logical reasoning. So argument, first, what is a argument? Argument is a set of statement where one statement is supported by one or more other statement. Now see, argument is a set of statements. Two, three statements will be there where one statement will be supported by one or more statement. So, just for example, you are uh, trying to explain someone like today there might be rain. So you can say like this: today here are clouds. Next, so it might rain. Now see what you are doing. Two statements are there. So argument is a set of two or three statements which you are giving in order to prove something and in order to disprove something. So here, this statement is conclusion. Conclusion is what you are going to prove through your argument is your conclusion. And one statement whose all statement which you are giving in order to prove this conclusion, these all are known as premises. So can you give one or two more premises in order to support this conclusion?
It's cloudy weather or it's air is blowing or something.
Yeah, clouds are there, and according to weather forecast, today is supposed to be it was supposed to be rain today. So these all premise we can give in order to support this conclusion. So what I'm trying to say is that conclusion will be only one, and premise can be as you can give as many logic you can give to support this conclusion. So premise and conclusion, I hope you understand. Next, three categories of argument. This is very much important: deductive argument, inductive argument, and abductive argument. This abductive argument is not of our use. This is not in our syllabus, but this deductive and inductive argument is very much important, and it can also come in your teaching section and in your research section, because this deductive and this inductive, these terms are always there, like deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, deductive teaching, deductive argument, inductive argument. So let's understand these terms. Once you will understand these terms, deductive and inductive, you can understand everything: teaching, reasoning, research, everything. So what is deductive argument? In deductive argument, two things are there. First is premise, and the other one is conclusion. So in deductive argument, premise will be a general statement or a fact. First, you will put a general statement or a fact, and then you will come to a particular scenario or particular case. Again, I am repeating, in premise, you will give a general statement or a fact in order to prove the conclusion, which is a particular case. So just see. Every day, sun rises from the east. So today, it will rise from the east. So this is your conclusion. And in order to prove that conclusion, what premise we are giving? Every day sun rises from the east. This is general statement. General means it will apply everywhere, and this is also a kind of fact. So what we are doing, we are first putting a general statement, and then on the basis of that general statement, we are going to a conclusion, and we are trying to support that conclusion. Next, one more example. Whenever there are clouds in night, it rains in morning. So it will rain tomorrow morning, as clouds are there. So just take a scenario of a night. You are giving argument something like, whenever there are clouds in night, it rains in morning. So it will rain tomorrow morning, as clouds are there in the night. So this is also a kind of deductive argument, because first you are putting a general statement, a fact. Now, I'm not talking about whether this fact is correct or this fact is not correct. But what I'm trying to do first, I am just putting a general statement, a fact, and then on the basis of that general statement, we are checking in a particular case, like whether we are not checking actually, we are trying to prove it in a particular case. Understood this deductive argument? Okay, one or two example from your side.
So we can say we prepared the exam very well, so we can we can pass this exam.
We prepared the exam very well, so we no, not like this. Like these two should be correlated. The general statement should be reflect in the particular situation. For example, you can say every time, or whenever I prepare for the exam well, I pass the exam. So this is a general statement. Like every time, whenever I prepared well, I passed the exam. So this time also, I am prepared well, so I will pass the exam. This statement you can give, but you should always come from general to particular. One more example.
Sir, may I try, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Preparation for UGC NET exam is very, very organized, and it has to be done at a very tough level. And whoever does this practice like this usually cracks the UGC NET.
Okay. Again, you should come from general statement to a particular statement.
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, some of me from Hindi medium students did not get your words properly.
Okay, Hindi medium students are also there.
Yeah. Actually, now we only understand Hindi. Most of people like ऐसे ही बैठे हैं, like उनको कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा.
Okay. आपकी लॉजिकल क्लास तो हो चुकी है ना?
Yeah, sir. If you speak, but this is our revision class now, so that's why I call you. Please speak in Hindi, sir.
But for us, it is like first class. So
This is not the revision class. Actually, there is some misunderstanding. This is their first
Okay.
class.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So for revision class, you can. I think Sakshi ma'am taught you. She might take the revision class.
एक्चुअली सर हमारे ग्रुप में ये इस चीज का लिंक रिवीजन क्लास के लिए आया है. ओके सर, देन हम हिंदी वाले यहाँ से चले जाते हैं.
या जो लोग समझ सकते हैं, अगर उनको रिवीजन करना है तो वो लोग रुक सकते हैं. बाकी क्योंकि इनकी फर्स्ट क्लास है तो फिर अभी इंग्लिश में ही चलेगी क्लास.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू.
Sir, I can give one example of.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I thought means every full moon day there is moonlight is there.
Yeah.
You can consider on full moon day there is no dark.
Yeah. Every full moon day there is no darkness. So this full moon day also there will be no darkness. So this is general to particular. First we are putting a fact. First we are putting a already proved statement, and then on the basis of that statement we are trying to
Means,
prove
sir,
scenario.
means, sir, here fact is mostly not say truth.
Truth or not, whether it is truth, whether it is not, that is another thing that we will talk about. But we are trying to put a general statement, and then on the basis of that general statement, we are coming to a particular condition. We are trying to prove a particular condition. So premise will be general statement and particular will be your conclusion.
Sir, if
Yeah.
we say the months of December and Jan, they are cold, are usually months where we have winter, what will be the conclusion, sir? How can we
So
put a
yeah, so you can say that months of Jan and Feb, these are mostly cold months. So this time also there will be low temperature in Jan and Feb.
Okay, sir, okay.
Sir, one more example. In leap year, usually there are 28 or 29 days in February.
Yeah,
So this year is a leap year like that.
yeah, very nice example. This year also there will be 29 days in February. And
Sir,
yeah,
so here we are like we need to mention general statement and we need to mention the current situation also. Like suppose if I take yoga as example, yes, do yoga and you can be fit and healthy. You can say,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is enough, or do we need to add another extra particular conclusion?
This is also a example, but like we all are giving this example while we are taking classes. Like yoga helps to reduce the blood pressure. Through yoga, blood pressure is like, if we will say, through yoga, BP is reduced. So this is general statement, and we are talking to someone. If you will do yoga, your BP will also be reduced. So first we are putting a general statement, then we are saying a person like, if you will do, your BP will also reduce. So here also we are coming from general to particular. Now in this context you can also use, and we are using it while judging people, like this person always comes late, then tomorrow also he will come late. And if like, now let's see the example of inductive reasoning, then you can relate these two things. Inductive reasoning. So inductive reasoning always go from particular to general. So particular, this will be premises and this will be conclusion. Now see, for example, you went to your friend's house and his dog uh, barked at you first instant. On second day also, this was a particular case. Second day also you went to your friend's home and again his dog barked at you. Third time also it happened. So these are particular cases. And on the basis of these particular cases, you can come to a general conclusion. Whenever I went to my friend's house, his dog always barked on me. So this inductive reasoning is after seeing lots of particular cases and finding pattern in those particular cases, you come to a general conclusion. So you will come from particular to general. This is inductive reasoning. Again, some more example, like police is solving some case. So 2 3 theft cases is there in the city. So first case is like police will investigate while first theft was there. This person can be seen in the CCTV recording. Again, after second theft, this person can be seen nearby CCTV recording. Third time also. So these particular cases, we can come to a conclusion that this person might be the thief. So this is from particular to general. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Example.
Sir, today I went for D-Mart. It was so busy.
Yeah,
Yesterday also I went. It was so busy. So whenever I go for DMart, it was so rush and busy.
very good. So one more example, anybody else?
Yes, sir. So for past semester exam, I faced fear, typhoid fever because I drank a very impure water. And second semester also, I faced fever in typhoid because I drank impure water. So in every, it, no, sir, it will not be.
Yeah,
So
don't worry whether the conclusion is true or false. It should be aligned with the premises.
okay, sir. So in every exam, after the exam, I am facing the typhoid fever. Is it
Yeah,
right?
this is also the right example. We are not talking about whether the conclusion is true or false, but example is right. Okay, so just one question, just to make sure whether you are getting this or not. The two things are there. First is making of a theory, and other is checking a theory. So making a theory will be done by deductive reasoning or inductive reasoning.
Sir,
If you are
it is
Inductive.
if you
inductive.
are, if you are creating a theory, it will be inductive or deductive.
Inductive.
Inductive.
Inductive. Anybody is saying deductive?
Yes, sir, deductive.
Deductive. Okay, why deductive?
So we are not sure about that. We are just making the theory and then we are concluding that it may be same as it was.
See, in deductive reasoning, a general statement or fact is already there, and you are just using that fact in a particular condition. But what we are doing in inductive reasoning, we are just observing many phenomena, we are just observing many cases, and on the basis of that cases, we are finding a particular pattern and we are going for a new theory. Just like how theory of gravitational came into existence. Newton first saw an apple is falling down, then he observed everything is falling down, another thing is falling down, then he came to conclusion two bodies attract each other, that's why everything is falling down. Understood?
Yes,
Now how a theory is checked again. Now we already got a general law or theory. Then we will check that theory to different particular cases. And this is deductive thing. And that's what we are doing in research. For example, we have a general law or theory, yoga reduces blood pressure. What we are doing in research? First, we form a hypothesis. Anybody is doing PhD here or doing dissertation or something, experimental research?
Noted, sir.
Okay. First, what we are doing in research, first we form a hypothesis. Hypothesis is a we can say hypothesis is a tentative answer or a guess what can be there. So for example, our hypothesis is yoga will increase height. So this is our general statement. And then we will go to different particular cases. We will collect 30-40 sample and we will see in each sample whether height is increasing or not. We will check this uh, statement. So this is inductive reasoning when we are creating a theory, making a theory, and when we are checking a theory, it is deductive reasoning. Now, making a theory is inductive research actually, in which you are finding pattern and coming for a conclusion of a new theory. This other one is deductive research, in which a theory is always there, a hypothesis is always there, a general hypothesis is always there. You are just checking that hypothesis to different particular cases, whether height will increase or not. Understand this? Any problem in this?
Sir, when you say we are just proving, sir, what is already there when you say checking a theory.
Yeah, we are just checking means proving or disproving. If it's happening, then it's proving, and if it is not happening, then it's disproving. I'm not talking about whether your conclusion will be true, whether your conclusion will be false, premise are true, premise are false. I am just talking about the structure. There might be a condition like conclusion will be false or premise will be false, but structure you can understand. For example, just one more example. Or superstitions. Superstitions are inductive reasoning or deductive reasoning.
Deductive, sir.
Deduction.
Superstition that we are using nowadays, that is deductive reasoning. Because we already believed some law, there is some general statement. For example, if you will see a cat, and if a cat is crossing your way, you need to stop there. So this is a general statement. We are applying this in every particular situation. Now, this is the other thing, whether this general statement is true or false, that is a very different thing. But structurally, this is a correct deductive reasoning. Understand? Now, this is superstition nowadays, but how these superstitions are formed? Actually, one logic behind that is that in old days, whenever people use horses just to go from one place to another place, the transport of medium are mostly horses. So horses don't have a very good eyesight in the dark, and whenever a cat will cross the way in front of a horse, because of the shiny eyes of cat, horse misunderstood the cat as a lion. So it will lose the control, the rider will lose control over the horse, because the horse will then start feeling terrified. So whenever a cat will cross the way, the horse will understand the cat as a lion. So that's why people, what they start doing, whenever a cat will cross, they will just stop the horse, relax the horse, and then they will start their journey. So this formation of superstition will be deductive or inductive?
It is, sir, inductive.
It is inductive. Because first case, a horse saw a cat crossing the road, it got terrified, and rider loses the control over horse. Second time also it happened, third time also it happened. So they came to a conclusion that whenever a cat is crossing, just stop there, relax your horse, then start your journey again. So formation is always inductive and the use is always deductive.
Sir,
Understand?
can you repeat that again, sir?
Yeah. The superstition we are using nowadays, with superstition, like if you will see a cat crossing a road, you should stop there. So it's already a general statement, and we are using this statement in our day-to-day life in every particular situation if you are believing on this. So this is a deductive argument, this is a deductive reasoning. Now, how this superstition was formed? As I told you, whenever a horse will see a cat in the dark, it will misunderstood the cat as a lion, and it will get terrified. So first time a rider was riding a horse, and the horse saw a cat in front of him, and it got terrified, and rider lost his control over the horse. Second time also it happened, third time also it happened. So after observing these particular situations, the ancient people or the people in past They came to a conclusion like whenever a cat will come in front of you, you need to stop for some time. So after observing lots of things, you are coming to a conclusion. So this is inductive reasoning, and that one is deductive reasoning. So we can also come on a conclusion like creation is always, if you are creating something, the theory is always
Inductive.
inductive. Anybody who is
Sorry,
saying deductive?
sorry, sir.
Yeah,
Inductive.
if it is if it was a mistake, then it's okay. Anybody who is having confusion whether it will be deductive or inductive?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, it will always be inductive, and use will always be deductive
Deductive.
if you are using a theorem or something. Now, last thing I will try to understand teaching. So, two types of teaching are there. I will just ask you and you will only answer. First, a teacher is teaching a theorem. A theorem like any theorem a teacher is teaching, and he's then solving examples based on that theorem. For example, a teacher is teaching Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras theorem will be h square equal to L square plus B square. हाइपोटेनियस का स्क्वायर होता है लेंथ और base का square B square. So this is a theorem. Even if you are not understanding this, it's okay. So if a teacher is first understanding or explaining theorem to student and then asking to solve the example based on that theorem, what type of teaching is this? Inductive or deductive?
Deductive.
Deductive teaching, because we are going from general to particular.
Particular.
Even this, we are using the theory also. I think.
Sorry,
We are just using the theory already, which is already
Yeah.
existing.
we are just using the theory. Yes. Next, if a teacher is first just giving example, like for example, a teacher needs to explain the gravitation, so teacher will give example. If I will just I am holding a pen. If I will just uh, throw a pen, it will fall down. Everything is falling down. And then a teacher is asking on the basis of that example, what do you understand by this? And the students are now coming to a conclusion after seeing pattern to a particular law. Then it will be
Inductive.
inductive teaching. So one question you can expect from this deductive and inductive teaching, there will be not be any thing like you need to learn something, you need to mug up something. Just understand the concept and the question will be very conceptual. Okay. Now, most of the things I already explained. Now, let's just go through the PDF. A deductive argument is a type of reasoning where the conclusion logically follows from the premises. It aims to provide conclusive evidence or truth for the truth of the conclusion. In deductive reasoning, if the premises are true, then the conclusion must also be true. Very much important. In deductive reasoning, if the premise is true, then the conclusion must be true. For example, I am saying every day sun rises from the east. So this morning also sun will rise from the east. So if my premise is true, if I am saying that sun every day sun rises from the east, if this is true, then the conclusion will must be true. This morning also sun will definitely rise from the east. Understand this? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can we say this in the case of inductive argument?
Yes, sir. We can say because from the particular to your concluding.
Now again think about it. I'm giving an example, like I'm going to my friend home and first day I went there and his dog barked at me. Second day also same thing happened. Third day also same thing happened. So I came to a conclusion, every time I am going to my friend's house, his dog barked at me or his dog barks at me. So is the conclusion always be true? Maybe after time, after
Maybe false.
the dog will be the dog will get comfort with me, the dog will get friendly with me, and he might not bark. So
Maybe
in
it is true or false.
yeah, maybe it will be true or maybe it will be false. We cannot say. So, but in deductive argument, if a premise is true, the conclusion will be definitely true. But in inductive argument, if the premises are true, we cannot say the conclusion will be true. Understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Deductive argument are characterized by their validity, which means that the conclusion necessarily follows from the premises. So this validity and all, we will see later how to prove validity or something. Now, this case is also, we will discuss later. This is a type of syllogism and we will see how to solve a syllogism. Next, inductive argument. Inductive argument is a type of reasoning where the conclusion is based on observed pattern, trends, or evidence. We already discussed this. It aims to establish a probable or likely truth of a conclusion. Unlike deductive reasoning, inductive argument do not provide absolute certainty. Instead, they rely on the strength of the evidence to support the conclusion. Now, see. Deductive argument. It will be true or false. Okay. And inductive argument. It is
Sir,
never.
deductive is always true only, sir.
No, deductive is always true if the premises are true. And if the premises are false, conclusion will always be false. So it can be true also, it can be false also. But inductive argument, we are never sure whether it is true or whether it is false. So inductive argument is based on two categories, weak or strong. Now, just we can take an example of deductive argument. Sun rises from the west and this morning also sun will rise from the west. So the premise is false, so the conclusion will also be false. So this is an example of false deductive argument. If your premises will be false, your conclusion can never be true. But in inductive argument, you are never sure whether the conclusion will be true or false. So it is weak or strong. If you have many premises, like for example, I am going to my friend's house from last 1 year, last 2 years, and I'm saying from last 2 years, whenever I'm going to my friend's house, his dog barks at me. So it is weak, strong argument or strong inductive argument.
Strong, sir.
It is strong inductive argument because I have lots of
Experience.
lots of particular cases, lots of particular scenario. On the basis of that, I am coming to a general conclusion. Like every time his dog barks at me. Now see, if I am going my friend's house just for last 1 week and I just went for 2 days and I'm coming to a conclusion, then it will be weak or strong.
Weak.
Weak, sir.
Yeah, weak, strong argument. So this thing we should also remember while judging people, while judging someone. First, we are never sure while judging someone based on their action. Like he is always late, he is always insensitive, he is always this, he is always that. First is we are never true or we are never false if we are judging someone. Because while judging someone, what we are doing, deductive or inductive?
Inductive.
Inductive, and that too, that can be never true. So we should be never so much sure, so much absolute while judging someone. There is always a chance of error, there is always a chance like it might not be true. Second is you should be sure whether it is weak or strong. Don't judge someone just based on 2 3 instances, just based on very few proof. There should be enough evidence, and you can come to a conclusion. And always remember, there is no truth in inductive reasoning. There is no truth, and there is no true things while we are judging someone, because it's also an inductive argument. Now, deductive reasoning versus inductive reasoning. Most of the things we already covered. It starts with a general theory or a rule and moves towards a confirmed specific conclusion. Here we move towards a specific point from a broader concept. From a broader concept, we are coming to a specific point. Now see, sun rises from the east every day. We are talking about every day. It's a very broader concept. And we are then coming to a particular point. Like today also sun will rise from east. So if you will just join these two things, it will make a funnel. So this is also known as funnel approach. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Because very broader concept, we are coming to a specific point, and it is also known as top down approach because you are coming from general to particular. It is also known as top down approach. The truthfulness of the conclusion in deductive reasoning can't be questioned. The truthfulness of the conclusion in deductive reasoning can't be questioned. If the premises are true, then the conclusion will be true. If the premises are false, the conclusion will be definitely false. Okay. Inductive reasoning, it follows bottom-up approach or mountain climbing approach. You are going from particular cases to general cases. So it is known as bottom up. From bottom to up you are going. It assists to generate new theories. It begins with a specific observation and finally draws a more general conclusion. Here the truthfulness of the conclusion is not guaranteed. If the premises is true, the conclusion can be or cannot be true. So this is deductive and inductive reasoning. So deductive reasoning cannot create new knowledge. Inductive reasoning can create new knowledge type of approach. It is a downward process that leads to a specific conclusion. It is upward process leading towards the generation of principle. Any doubt in these two lines?
No, sir.
Okay, now pace of pace of process. Which reasoning will be fast? Inductive reasoning or deductive reasoning?
Can you repeat it?
Deductive.
Deductive reasoning will be fast, or in why deductive reasoning?
It is already premises are general.
Yeah, because it's very easy.
already proved.
Like for example, if you are searching for a thief in your class, if you are searching for a thief, you lost something And if somebody is coming to you and saying that person is thief because he always steals, and he is used to this, so it's a kind of deductive reasoning. You will just went to that person and you will just ask him whether he took your stuff or not. So it's a deductive reasoning. The other thing, whether your premises was true or not, that told you by the other person. But in inductive reasoning, you need to find the patterns, whether there is pattern or not in something. So pace of process, deductive reasoning will be fast and inductive reasoning will be slow. Type of method, this follows the method of instruction, this follows the method of discovery. The scope of activities narrower, the scope of this approach is wider. Now, what does this mean? In deductive reasoning, you can't do many things. There is just a rule, and you just need to apply that rule. The scope is not that much wide. But in inductive reasoning, there are few things happening around you. You can come to any conclusion. You are free to come to any conclusion based on the pattern you are seeing. Just like, take example of stock market. Everybody is observing the same situation, same particular scenarios, and everybody is coming to different conclusion. Like today, the market will increase. Today, the market will decrease. So scope of this approach is wider in inductive reasoning because it's also a kind of guess. Level of dependence. So it was a previous year question, like which reasoning is based on the existing knowledge, for which reasoning you need existing knowledge. So which will be there, inductive or deductive?
Deductive is existing source.
Yeah, in deductive reasoning, you need some already proved theorem, you need already proved law, then you can come to particular cases, but it will not happen in inductive reasoning. So this is all about inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. Everybody understood this?
Yes, sir.
Any conclusion in this? Any confusion? Any doubt? Okay. Now we will just take the break of 3-4 minutes, then we will finish the next topic, categorical argument. That is also very important. So if you want to take water or something, if you want to do your breakfast, you can do. We will start by 8.
Okay, sir.
So you didn't stop the recording.
Yes, sir, you had to stop the recording.
Okay.